Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. Don't forget your microphones when we're talking. Calling to order this evening's Borough Authority.
Great.
Today is January 27th. It is our first meeting of the new year, so Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful holiday break and are faring this wonderful snowstorm that we had. I should call it the ice skating rink right now, right? So calling to order, let's do a roll call vote to start with, if you don't mind, Shannon.
Sure.
Yeah, we could do with roll call and then the pledge.
Aparna Chibber.
Here.
Christine Bertino.
Here.
Jack Ambler.
Here.
George Bess.
Here.
Tina Sokolowski.
And here. All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, since Christine wants to do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Variety is the spice of life, Christine. All right, since this is our first meeting of the year, we have a few kind of housekeeping items. So the first order of business this evening is our reorganization. We'll be looking at our elected officer positions. So I will pass the microphone over to the solicitor to start with the nominations and appointment of the chair for the Sewer Authority.
Thank you. At this time, it would be appropriate for any motions for an individual to serve as the chair of the board for the 2026 calendar year. Are there motions?
I'll make a motion for Tina.
I'll second it.
Are there any other nominations? That will close the nominations. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ms. Sokolowski, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much. Did you want me to call motion for you? All right, next item is appointing a vice chair. Do I have any motions for a vice chair for this cycle of election?
Nominate George Bess.
I have a
I'll second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, George.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Next nomination is to appoint a secretary.
I nominate Jack Ambler.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor for Jack Ambler to be the secretary?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And then finally, we'll look at appointing or need a nomination to appoint a treasurer.
Appoint Christine Bertino.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so we now have our officers. So as it stands, Tina Sokolowski is the chair, George Bass is the vice chair, Jack Ambler is the secretary, and Christine Bertino is the treasurer. Congratulations to all. Next item on the agenda under appointments would be appointing our professionals. First appointment would be the appointment of a solicitor. Do I have any nominations to reappoint C.G. Bagg,
Much easier.
Clark Gallagher, Barbarito, etc., as the solicitor for the Borough of Conshohocken Authority?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
And then the next professional would be to appoint the consulting engineer, and we are looking for a motion to reappoint Ebert Engineering as the authority's engineer for our 2026 calendar
I'll make the
year.
motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations to our professionals, and thank you for all the hard work that you do for us. Next item on the agenda is just to establish the meeting dates for 2026. Select and approve the dates and times and locations for our regularly scheduled meetings of the Board of Directors. So Shannon, do you have by chance the list of dates? Okay. Is it staying on the third, the fourth Tuesday of the month?
If that's what you want.
Okay, so we're looking at the fourth Tuesday of the month, continuing that, and then we decide that we were going to take out two,
We would like to take out the June meeting,
Okay.
the August meeting, and the December meeting,
okay,
if you're okay with it.
And not have them?
Not have them. And then the checks and things, somebody would have to come in and sign the checks, but we could approve them at the next meeting.
Why those months?
Well, we figure June and August are summer, people are doing vacations and stuff, and December is just December.
I mean, our
With the
goal is,
holidays.
I would say, I think we still publish them as the dates of meeting, and then we always have the right to cancel.
To cancel it, yes.
So I think Brent's suggestion is a good one, particularly with the December meeting, in case there's an issue with the budget. But I believe the last, I want to say 6 years, we've had to reschedule our December meeting anyway.
all right, so then we would look to have post for meeting dates as the fourth Tuesday of every month,
Yep.
with the right to cancel meetings based on whatever is happening at the time, and then conduct normal business at the subsequent meetings. And then the meeting times would still maintain 6:30?
If that's what you want. You guys like 6:30?
6:30?
The board may want to consider doing 6 o'clock for at least the February meeting. There's an activity after that meeting.
Oh, okay.
We hope.
Barring the
weather.
All right, what's that?
I'm fine with 6:30, whatever.
Yeah, whatever's fine with you guys.
Just for February.
And then on February
For
6th.
All right, hang on. 6:30 would be the normal meeting time. And then for February of 2026, we would have a 6 o'clock meeting so that there's future business for the board after that.
February, 6 PM.
Yes.
Okay.
One point that Mr. Ebert is raising is with regard to canceling meetings. I think that should be a decision made closer to the meetings, because he may have grant applications that he needs
Got it.
public action, so.
And if you guys can approve maybe the executive director upon polling the board to execute the, payment request, because we need to get them in, because I got that September 30th date, and you'll see, like, this month is 600,000. So I don't want to,
Yeah, we'll continue to maintain business. Thank you for that, pointing that out, though. Okay. So do I have a motion to maintain meetings on the fourth Tuesday of the month for 6:30, with the exception of February of 2026? That will be a 6 PM start. And then, based on how the year goes, the opportunity to cancel meetings as necessary.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, that looks like that concludes our reorganization component of our meeting this evening, so thank you very much. Before we get started this evening, I would say, do we have any public comment? There is nobody in the public today. Anything come in over the weeks? Okay. All right. So hearing no public comment, we will jump right into the agenda. We have no guests presenting this evening, right? All right. So we'll go into the approval of meeting minutes of our December 15th, 2025 meeting. Any questions on the meeting minutes or concerns or edits?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes of December 15th, 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is going into our financial report section. Everyone's had an opportunity to review the accounts payable. Any questions related to any of the items in our accounts payable?
The only question I had is, we've talked about it, but I don't think anything was ever done about it, that we pay AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon. I know Verizon's an alarm line, but maybe it's time to look at that and see if there's any savings if we look for another solution.
I will talk to Ed about it, because I think he was looking into it. But I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
I don't know if he got to it or not with everything going on, but I'll double check with him.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Any other questions related to,
Not totally related, Shannon, but have you had any luck, where are we with converting over to, was it for the checks, not having to sign as much or whatever? Yeah, ATMs.
We're still sending the notices out. There are certain vendors that just don't want to do it.
I agree, okay.
And then there's certain vendors, like I think with HB Frazer, that one needs to be a check because of the grant and those kinds of things.
Okay.
So it's dwindling down, and we are still sending the papers out. I just don't know how many more we're gonna get.
Might be an upper limit anyway, I guess you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking
is
at-
there a fee that we can apply for the extra administrative burden of actually doing paper checks to folks that don't convert?
To our customers, vendors, or both?
Vendors.
So typically, most of our vendors are going to have contractual relationships that likely set out what fees we are allowed to charge. So I can review with Ms. Stewart and figure out what vendors are causing us to have to write checks still. We can take a look at it.
Okay, great, thank you. All right. Any other questions?
I just have one, the $380 to Begley, Carlin, and Mandino for the zoning appeal, was that somebody else we brought in?
Yes, so my office also serves as the solicitor for the zoning hearing board. So when this matter came up and the authority decided to take a position, both the authority and the zoning hearing board hired special counsel to avoid any appearance of conflict. That matter, the applicant, the property owner, has appealed that to the next level. So the borough is taking the lead, but we're still involved because we were a party below. They have appealed all of the conditions of approval, including the one related to the authority.
I thought we hadn't heard from them in a while.
We hadn't, and then the judge issued a decision and they appealed. He just told me last week or so. I was going to talk about it in my report.
That's still ongoing.
Still ongoing, but again, the borough is taking the lead on this, so our involvement should be minimal, hopefully.
Any other questions?
Maybe for Brent, so it was like $10,000 to get that camera repaired, that's full, that's great, okay, cool.
I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah.
Knowing that if it wasn't gonna be repaired, the cost is outside of that, you're talking 70,000 plus.
To get a new one over here.
So everything worked out very well.
Great.
Cool.
Any other questions? All right, hearing no other questions, what I'm looking for is a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $830,025.41. And that includes both the sewer and the stormwater expenses in the line items.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
We have to do a roll call.
Call it out, girl.
Aparna Chiver,
Yes.
Christine Bertino,
Yes.
Jack Ambler,
Yes.
George Bass.
Yes.
Tina Sokolowski.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Shannon.
And do we do Fred's separate then? Because he's got a big bill for us to approve, right?
Request for HB Fraser.
That's in there. That's in that number.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it
that's
was
in
in
the
that
number?
number.
Okay.
Yeah, 800,000, it better be in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going through it real fast and I missed it. That's-
Okay.
Yeah, it's towards the back. Okay.
Do you want an explanation on that now or during my report?
You want to just do it during your report?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Looks like
Motion to approve financial report.
we need a motion to approve the financial report into our minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item is our solicitor's report.
You've all had a You've all had an opportunity to review our report this evening. As I mentioned earlier, the 5 Caldwell Lane matter has been appealed, so Mike McGinnis from Begley Carling continues to handle that. He'll keep us updated on any updates, but it's really just going to be briefing from the attorneys. I don't expect there to be any court appearances for that one. Other than that, we don't have any litigation or any action items this month, so I'm happy to answer any questions, but everything's been pretty quiet around the authority.
Any questions for the solicitor? Okay. Hearing no questions, do I have a motion to accept the solicitor's report into record?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next up is Fred for the engineer's report.
Well, the first item is the payment number 2 for the HP Frazer. This is for the delivery and storage of all, and purchase of all the equipment. So the good thing is that we have it. Some of it is at the site, some of it is in Phoenixville in their warehouse. We have gone and verified that it's all stored in a heated environment. The good thing is I don't have to worry about a truck breaking down or delivery, and we get it earlier in the process to get it paid through. And we did a small payment request last month. As you remember, the purpose of that was just to get through. It takes a while the first time through, then it should be on a regular 2-week revolving basis as we go through there. The contractor is doing a great job so far. We are right on schedule, so they're installing MCC T2. It's actually going to be installed the week of the 2nd of February and completed the week of February 9th, which they're supposed to take the entire month. That's good. Automatic transfer switch was already installed in temporary power. Jack always asked me, hey, have we found something that we weren't expecting? We did, and it was minor relatively. One of our spare breakers, when we actually exercised it, because we didn't use it, it was a spare, had to be rebuilt. So the authority is getting that rebuilt. So they're the little things that we run into. But other than that, they've been doing really good. Keystone Engineering's doing a lot of the on-site inspections of the detailed stuff. It's mostly demo work so far, and everything is going really good. The good and the bad is that we had to change our sequence of construction a little bit because we didn't think we were getting the MCC sections in until May or June, and it was going to be mad rush all summer. So we didn't include temporary heat, but we're down for an hour. So it hasn't been a problem at all, but I would much rather deal with temporary heat for an hour than I would, anything else. So that really is it for the project. On time, on budget, no change orders to date. There may be some, but we've been able to handle them all, so far. As far as next month, I will do a short, abbreviated Chapter 94 update. But I got to brag for you guys because we did the flow analysis. Our flows are down by over 100,000 gallons, or 10% this year. So, and our flows went from last year on a per EDU from 133 gallons per unit to 117. Our flows went from 1,186,000 to 1,093,000. Our max 3 consecutive monthly flow went from 1,246,000 to 1,130,000. The ratio of our annual average to max 3 month, normally it's 1.33. Anything below that's great. You're 1.03. There's a 3% difference between your max 3 consecutive monthly, think April, May, and June, compared to June, July, and August. That's the result of you guys doing all the I&I work and all the grants that we've gotten, and Vinny and those guys televising all the time and doing that. Only other thing real short on the developer side, we had a couple of repairs to they did a spot replacement of a cured in place pipeline, or because of the cold temperature it didn't take. Contractor didn't even blink, came out, cut it out, put a new one in.
But why did it have to be attached to the first place?
Because the joint that goes in, so you slide the bell socket in, well, it's got to go in this far, they were 1 inch short. Now, we can't see that because there's a line on the inside of the pipe. You can't see that until you televise it. If you see the line, even though it's it's probably 8 inches and it only went in 7, that means they didn't seed it all the way. Well, my inspectors, and even the guys in the field, you can't tell unless you're the guy pushing it. That's why we televise it. But because it wasn't put in all the way, we put a liner over top of it because that joint doesn't meet standards. So an abundance of caution. And that was 401-433.
I was going to say that's down on Washington Street, right?
Yep. So, I mean,
It's the wording confused me. It's patched, but it's really, it's a repair. It's an encapsulation.
it's an encapsulation from the
Repair.
inside because they didn't seat the joint all the way.
It's reworked.
So, yeah, so, technically, it's got to be seated this way. If
Right.
it's not, they either dig it up, or I said, just put it, get rid of the joint.
Yeah.
Fuse it, it doesn't exist. And it's, that attention to detail is why our I&I is so low. Is that you don't let it go in, and would there be a chance that it would ever leak? Probably not,
Right.
but we don't take chances, and that's why we're at 3%.
That's great.
So that completes my report, unless the board has any questions.
Just a question on the breaker. Is that
Yes.
a maintenance cost that would just come out of our routine maintenance budget? That's not like a warranty?
Oh, no.
Because it's too old?
20 years old.
It's too
Your
old.
warranty is about a year. So this is an original.
Just thought I'd ask.
This is an original breaker that was in there that we're going to reuse. So it was in an MCC panel that wasn't used. So basically what we do is when we take one out, we put it in the spare, and then we kind of just shift down the line. So think of like school lockers. You got an empty one here, you move this guy to here, and you keep on jumping all the way down. Well, it had a spare breaker. Well, until you take the breaker out, you can't tell if there's any issues. So they had to go out and basically refurbish it before we put it in. So it was just one of those that you could have taken it out and it could have looked just like it was. I think what happened honestly was someone took it out and had one.
Swapped 'em?
And swapped them. And it looks great from the outside, but till you get the inside, and that's why I said, until I start pulling these things out, I don't know what I don't know. That's a minor issue, and I don't think it's much money, but it is something, and rather than have the contractor deal with it, we had our operations staff save a markup, on it.
Okay. Thanks.
Kind of same question for that temporary heat, like, how much more are these items, and can it get covered under the grant, any of this, or this all has to be under?
There's no cost to you. We have worked with them to get it down that we only lose heat for an hour.
Okay,
So, and we have also switched the sequence so that the more heat-intensive things will be done during May, So when they first started, they thought they were starting in May, now they're starting in February. So we just kind of swapped what we were going to do in July and moved it up.
okay.
So there's no change to them, there's no cost order to you. It's just a change in sequence.
Okay.
So like I said, you're moving the lockers, so if spares 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I just took 5 and I moved it into the spare. And we just alternated it. So I can be doing pumps and things like that. So, yeah. No, it's just and they've been, so far they have been very, very good. You're always in a honeymoon in the beginning of a job. We all know that. But the faster they stay ahead, and the fact that we're not worrying about shipment delays or anything like that, that minimizes our risk. So that's the reason they're a big boy, And half the things that I bring up to them, it's not even a question, and it was already on their list.
Is Keystone doing construction?
Inspection of the wiring and the MCCs and those things, yes. Keystone has a guy out there. We coordinate weekly. We have weekly calls where they give us a 3-week look ahead. During that call, I do a Kirsten and say, listen, these things are better in your bailiwick than they are in mine. These certain things are better, my inspectors are better at it than theirs are. So we do that. They were actually $46,000 under budget on their design. So their design budget was $100,000. I think they used 66. Don't quote me on the exact numbers. I think they're around 40,000. So they're just working off of their design budget because they were down, and we were able to, part of the value engineering that we did in scoping, it reduced their costs significantly, so.
Great.
So it was, so you will probably run out of that at some point, and you're gonna have to, but all of our costs are used towards the match of the grant. So what we're gonna try to do is get those all in as we get into hard costs, we have to put a this is H2O, 50%, 33% match, So we're trying to utilize those dollars early on, so that way, you've already spent it.
Yeah.
So why not use it as your match as we go through? And I will work with Rich Longcoy in my office when we do that. So once you approve these, he will then submit and work with Shannon on getting the application submitted into DCD. And I don't think we've been paid for the first one, because I only went in like 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, the first one's 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, because when they go in, they'll run all of our contractors through for, I call it deadbeat dads, tax liens, all that stuff. So the first time they go through, they run it all through. They'll also audit the payrolls as they go through. So we have to collect certified payrolls. They go in, they will actually call some of the employees and say, what was your paycheck? There's a pretty, which is good. I mean, it is good, but it just takes time.
Great.
Any other questions from the board?
Good.
Good?
Super.
All right. That concludes your report, Fred?
That concludes my report, unless the board has any questions.
Hearing no questions, do I have a motion to accept the engineer's report into record?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is our operations manager's report.
I'll handle that. Ed was not able to attend tonight. The month of December, we were in compliance with our reporting requirements for our NPDS permit. One note that I just bring attention, we had some organic loading issues. We went up and down. Fred and our staff are going to be meeting within the next week to review all the analytical data for 2025 to have the appropriate response in our Chapter 94 report. We just switched laboratories from MJ Ryder to Eurofins due to costs. As I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned or not, but there's been a lot of merging going on between labs or being sold out to other firms. And we sought quotes, and Eurofins was very aggressive, and we chose them. And we just started this 2 weeks ago. We'll see if the data, but again, we'll have next month you'll hear our spiel in regards to our organic loading. Snow removal, I know it's not in this report because obviously we had this past weekend. Everything has gone very well for us. The biggest item coming up the next 5-6 days is hopefully we get through this with no utility water issues in our plant or any freezing issues, because this is going to be extreme for the next 4 or 5 days. So hopefully we get through this. We have nothing to report at this point in time. Our staff did a wonderful job getting in. On Sunday, obviously, we had to get in for compliance purposes, no matter what, according to NPDS permit. They got in, got out, cleaned up the plant, and we're in good shape. So I will turn the next 2 items over to Shannon for the property insurance and the sponsorship.
Okay, so our commercial insurance renews February 1st. The only quote we got was from Travelers because of the claims that we've had. So it went from $121,866 to $131,517.
No, I would have anticipated higher.
Right.
Okay.
So without any other quotes, we're recommending that we go with Travelers. Unless you really want them to go, now, like I said, it starts on the 1st, so we had to make a decision. And there was also quotes in here for coverage for cybersecurity. Option 1 was $1,410, option 2 was $1,280.
And Shannon, I don't know if there's a mistake on this, but it says the quote will remain in effect until March 21st, 2025. Did they mean 2026? Okay.
Is that a no or a yes?
I believe it is a yes. That was probably a typo because it is for the full year.
Okay.
No other terms were changed in there? I guess it was the same as last year's?
No, nothing should have changed.
These travelers are existing?
Yes. Travelers is our existing. And then the crime, or I mean, not the crime, the cybersecurity was something that I know he was working with the solicitors on, and we hadn't decided if we wanted it or not.
Does the borough have cybersecurity insurance?
Yes.
More and more municipal entities are getting the cyber protection because if there is some sort of cyber attack on the authority system, it can be incredibly costly and difficult to repair. So we are seeing more and more municipal entities that are getting that sort of coverage.
Well, with the exception of our, we have laptops, right? And desktops.
I have desktops, yes.
With the exception of them, all of our IT processing is handled through the borough.
Yes.
So is that taken into consideration for the quote?
I think it might be because this is a low quote.
It is, well, that's why I asked the question.
So the physical systems, that, a lot of it will be covered by, because we're renting space from the borough, but I think the large part of the quote, which again is pretty small, has to do with the amount of data that we have for customer billing and things like that.
And the only difference in the options is the legal forensic and public relations crisis management.
That's the only thing I see in here that's different, so.
$250.
For the year, right?
Yeah, 250 or 500 for the year with option 2.
Lauren, do you have any recommendations? We should go with it and go with the larger one?
We have no other option, right?
I strongly recommend that you get the coverage.
Yeah.
And again, with the price differential, I think that the larger coverage makes sense for the authority, but that's really a board decision. But having the coverage, I think, is something that is so recommended these days.
The larger coverage is cheaper? Well,
Right.
if we're going based on that legal forensic public relations and the 500, the quote was $1,280 for the 500 and $1,410 for the 250. So
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I don't know why it's lower. I don't know.
That concerns me.
I mean, I can confirm with them and we can bring it back next month.
Yeah, the board
that
can
one,
always,
we can get-
approve subject to confirmation.
I was going to say, yeah.
I was going to say, let's approve subject to confirmation. And we could put a not to exceed number on it,
Yep.
if we need to.
And as Shannon said, if there's an issue, we can always bring it back next month.
You want a motion?
Well, just for some housekeeping, the insurance renewals are not on the agenda.
They are.
They're-
Under Ed, 2026 commercial.
Oh, I was looking under executive director.
Okay, I'm like,
Sorry, never mind. You can amend your agenda now anyway. It's just a little bit of a process, but I jumped ahead on the agenda, sorry.
it's okay.
All right, so I'm looking for a motion to accept.
I think we should do the travelers as one and then the cybersecurity as a separate.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Okay, so we'll do the travelers for the property insurance and then the cyber security insurance. We will have to amend the agenda. So let's do the other one, let's do the travelers first, and then we'll go through the amendment
Yep.
process.
Makes sense. Okay, looking for a motion to accept Cohen and Cohen for the travelers and 2026 travelers insurance.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries, and that is for the property insurance
Yes.
through Cohen and Cohen.
So we would ask for a motion to amend tonight's agenda to include consideration of the cybersecurity quotes that the finance director has provided. So we need a motion to amend the agenda, and then we can consider the actual.
Okay. So first motion is to amend the agenda for this evening to accept the addition of the cybersecurity conversation.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And now, we need a motion to approve the cybersecurity on the condition that Shannon validates and verifies the costs. And do we want to put a not to exceed number on there if there is a typo? Not to
Yeah,
exceed
it just seems
1,500?
that they probably have the
Yeah.
totals reversed.
Yeah,
So if we don't exceed 1,500,
that's
we're
what I'm thinking.
encompassing both.
Right,
So, yeah, I think that's good.
okay. So let's do a not to
I'll
exceed.
make that motion.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And that is with Beasley's Cyber.
Okay, and then the second thing that was on the agenda is a request from the borough for sponsorship in the D'Onofrio Classic.
Do you want help? Do you want help with that? So the
Yes,
D'Onofrio Classic
Thank you.
is the basketball
Okay, I didn't know what it was, so.
Yep, tournament
Okay.
that we sponsor in March. That is the athletes from across Montgomery County and some Philadelphia schools come up. I think it's single elimination. It goes on for a couple weeks.
I think Kobe Bryant actually
Played in it years ago,
Yeah.
yeah. So it sounds like Borough's looking for
There-
different sponsorships.
Yes.
Have we
So-
sponsored it in the past?
We have not.
Oh.
So, and the gold sponsorship is $250, silver is $100, bronze is $50.
And don't we have a budget for how much we
So
can,
we have 5,000 in the budget for the year.
and we never
usually-
use 5,000?
No, we never use the 5,000, and usually it's like one per board member. So,
One pet project?
one
per-
project, yeah. So like the community garden and that we typically do. So
Be me.
George wants the community garden, so.
Yes.
All right. Anyone opposed to putting a sponsorship to the D'Onofrio?
No.
And would you like to do gold, silver, or bronze?
Why?
250?
I say
At least
do
gold.
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 Would be any reason to do more if we're doing 1,000 already, or just do the max
Well, it's
they ask
only-
for?
they're only
Yeah, they're only
asking
asking for
They're
250.
asking for 250, I don't.
Yeah. And not
I'm
that
sure
I'm
they'd take a grand, but-
looking for what we get for a donation, but what does that get us? Like, is it in a program?
So 250 gets you company organization
Oh,
logo
yeah.
included on tournament shirts, name listed on sponsor appreciation posters, displayed throughout the facility, name listed on nightly team programs. Sponsor names will also be posted on Conshohocken Borough website and social media outlets. Will receive one free pass for the duration of the tournament.
I'm just thinking of optics.
Hands go in together.
Bills just went up. I can foresee people saying, oh, sure, our bill went up, and now their name's on a T-shirt. Like, I don't know. Just trying to be devil's advocate of how it's perceived.
Yep.
Not that I'm not opposed to the $250 at all.
So could we we could ask for no recognition? Just
Yeah.
give them the 250 and don't ask for any of the other stuff. I think we should give them the money, but
Yes, I'm okay with that if they're agreeable to that.
I don't.
I could
I'm either way.
ask.
In some sense, I like that we also show that support the
part of
community
the
too.
community.
Yes, absolutely. We're supporting the community.
But at the same time, I think that, if we give them the 250, we should, yeah.
Get some recognition for supporting the community. Like, I get it from that
It's a
side, too.
balance.
Yes,
You
it
know,
is a
between
balance.
Supporting the community, spending sewer funds on supporting the community.
Yeah, and if you get hit with questions, that
Yeah, we took
money was
nine-
allocated, it's
nine out of your
allocated,
bill.
it's in a,
Right.
it's in a fund.
Basketball tournament.
Like a cent, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're reinvesting your
Yeah.
money back into your community.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, 250? 250. Gold sponsorship. Thank you.
Do we have to vote on
You
it?
get one ticket for,
You get one ticket. I can ask them if we can have more if you would like, but you get one if you want to go.
there are some games that are actually really good to watch. They're amazing
Is it
athletes.
high school or is it?
High school. Yeah.
And it's, yeah, it's all in March, right? It's like March Madness.
Like March Madness, yeah. All right, do I have a
Need-
motion
I was going to say, yep, a motion for the sponsorship.
for the sponsorship?
I'll make a motion for $250.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're up for the executive director's
No,
report.
No, approve the operations.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion to approve operations.
Aye.
Operation
Yep.
manager.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the operations manager's report into record. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Obviously, I have a pause in my brain today. All right, executive director's report.
Okay, I mentioned some of the items I was going to discuss underneath the operation manager report. The one item I'd like to make note is that obviously we have Linda will be retiring sometime this year. We're in the final phase of job descriptions. We'll be meeting in conjunction with our board in the next week or so to ensure that our job description meets our needs legally. And then at this point in time, I would envision the second quarter of this year, third quarter, or depending on my conversation with Linda, that we're going to be proceeding with that opening. And that's part of it is in our budget, but I just want to mention, we're working on the final job description. And then, as you know, we had numerous discussions last year about a rate analysis. We did our stormwater, and as you can see in our report, we have HRG and myself had numerous meetings to come up how we're going to address this next phase, which is our sewer rate study for the next 5 years. So in conjunction with that, you will see in the cost is $17,400. And this would be, our game plan would be have this complete over the next 3 to 4 months, and then present the rate analysis in front of the board, and then eventually proceeds with maybe what the findings are in that later this year or mid-year. So I'd be looking for approval to proceed with the rate analysis for the sewer.
So this is part of our strategic planning process for our 5-year plan.
That is correct. The 5-year plan after this year. So it'd be 2027 on.
Any questions related to the rate analysis? We did budget for it in the 2026 budget, so it's within the budget number that we put on the paper.
Like can you talk at all like the transparency of this? Like if someone, one of our taxpayers here asks us how we came to this new number.
Ratepayers, not taxpayers.
Whatever.
It's a difference, to me it's a difference.
Ratepayers. What is, you know what I mean? Like, is there an output that we can share? That it's like, it's pretty standard. Hey, look at the next, we actually have the rates from other municipalities. Like, how secret is it? You know what I mean? Can someone
Actually,
actually?
this will be open, we'll be actually discussing it next month, probably for the next 5 months, we will be discussing this, and it'll be part of our newsletter, and we'll be open to forum, and
But you can get values from other boroughs. Is that through just public disclosure?
I think I presented, through you, we presented a doc, I think, where we stand with our rates. Our rates are
Low.
very low, which is good because the type of plant we have, and as Fred speaks over there, we have a very efficient operation, and which we want to maintain our structure low. But the goal moving forward is that our capital plan is covered with our rates.
Yeah, yeah.
And you want to avoid that. You really, you want to operate your plan as efficiently, not how your neighbors do, because they're all different. And what this rate study does is it gives you coverage that you are following a third party that's coming in. It's not your appointed engineer that's doing it. It's that, and if independent third party has come in and said, this is what your rates need to be if you want to fund and continue to properly operate it. You then have the ability to go higher or lower each year of their rate, or combine it. You know, you may want to do that, but it gives you a document for when the public comes in to say, this wasn't us, this wasn't our staff, we paid an independent third party here, and we're following their recommendation. You know, or we decided to be less than their recommendation, or more. You know, but it gives you that document that you can explain to somebody. I don't think putting the document out, letting everyone know it exists, not a bad thing. But you don't want to get it out and they're going to say, oh, well, they recommended a 20% when you guys may not be doing that. You may be able to fund it elsewhere. But that document, and a lot of my other authorities, is a very valuable document because it's not your opinion, it's a third-party professional that's providing that.
So what's unique here, and obviously, Fred, before I came in, we had a good capital plan. We're doing our I call our backbone. Our electrical grid system is like the most important part that we see in front of us. But the goal is, and you heard me speak, I mean, I'm thinking, the way I'm looking at this next rate analysis is to make sure 2035, 10 years out, that we're in position to control our capital plan with our cash reserves. I'm not a proponent, I mean, you always have to make the decision with borrowing, but if we can control it, since our rates are so low, we should pay as we go. And obviously, you've been very successful with our grants, which help our sustainability for that. But the goal is, 2035 to 2040, and again, I don't know, Fred and I could speak about this. I would anticipate limits getting more stringent, probably 2035.
And you have to
we gotta
realize,
prepare ourselves for that.
our capital budget has been fully funded by grants. So we've been paying 15 to 33 cents on the dollar since I've been appointed. You know what I mean? We haven't come out of pocket for one major capital project. That may not continue. You can't always rely upon that and being able to fund it. And you're in the position that you're in because you guys have proactively done things. We've got a good schedule on replacement of our RBCs. The odor control, we've been able to handle those things, but you got to plan out. And having that money there, a lot of my authorities have planned out. We took Penvest money because it was 1%, and we made 4%. You can take in that opportunity, and then, boom, as soon as the interest rates drop, you pay it off. But being able to pay as you go is the best financial plan.
So George asked, what do you see like potential limits? And Fred, you could jump in here. There's been numerous talk, and the Delaware River Basin controls a lot of our destiny with our
It's the metals that scare me.
You got metals, you got
It's the
phosphorus.
metals that will require filtration.
My question was, what are the limits? And the limits are,
What our permit are allowed to discharge, theoretically, our pollution that we're
how
allowed,
how much,
organic loading we can put in the
Yeah,
river.
so,
yeah,
and you're permitted for a 5-year period, and then if they want to change it based upon water samples that they take, so they'll actually ask us to take additional samples that if they're not in our wastewater, they don't go into our permit. If they're found in our wastewater, then they go into our permit. So when we apply for the NPDES permit every 5 years, we do a multi-$1,000 test of 100 items. If it's non-detect, then they don't put it in the limit. If it is detectable but under the limit, then they'll establish a limit for it. So we know every 5 years, we'll figure out. My fear is metals. Probably more than like PFAS is gonna be handled by the water companies and things like that. But that would mean filtration. The problem with your plant is you don't have a lot of physical room left.
Right.
Everything is gonna be extremely expensive because you have no land.
so putting in a filter system for stormwater is going to be extremely expensive because it will,
Yeah,
they also require buying land.
yes. Well, the problem is, at least on the wastewater side, what land do you buy?
Right.
You gotta pump it then over to the community garden, because that's really the only thing you have, unless you're gonna start taking houses down, going out there because you got the trail behind you, the railroad, and the floodplain. You've got public works across the street from you. There's not a lot of room, You know, it's not, most of my plants are on 5, 10 acres,
Right.
you know? So you don't have anything, so we have to basically go vertical. So your pole barn goes away, and you go vertical. But nothing else I can go vertical on. I mean, you knock down the second half of the control building.
We're talking about limits now and not repairs. We got two.
I think we're, if you
It's
talk about repairs.
both. It's replacement of equipment. It's replacement of equipment. It is maintaining your equipment as well as the unknown, installing a UV system to get rid of chlorine, things like that. And that's why you have a plan, and you see, hey, if we put this in here, what does that look like to our rates? And when should we start planning on that? And that's where sometimes I'll even go beyond that 10-year and throw something out there that is a placeholder. Like UV may be, and that may get moved up, or there may be an effluent filtration system that we're going to put on that plan. If it's not required, you just keep on kicking it down, but if it is, you don't have to come up with that money in 5 years. You've budgeted and you've put that reserve in there for that. Because so far, you've been very fortunate in that you've had a lot of tapping fees. There's not a lot of future tapping fees. I mean, I'm always surprised, but I think you're down to the onesie twosies. I don't think you're getting 400 a year. I think you're getting 40 or 4.
So if you hear him talk about UV, that's ultraviolet light for disinfection to kill off the bacteria. So I would expect our next permit, we might have, when you put chlorine in wastewater, you produce carcinogenic parameters. It's called trialmethanes or H885s. So I would expect our chance of a limit being put in our permit that's going to say dibromomethane might be in our permit, which means DEP's looking at us, okay, we're producing this carcinogenic material that we might not be able to meet, will push us to UV. And they're doing this more and more. I mean, it's,
Either that or the chemicals get so expensive, you spend all this money on chlorine to kill it, and you spend just as much money on the chemical to get rid of the chlorine
Yeah.
and dechlorinate before it goes into the river. And then it becomes, and that's why you do a rate analysis.
Chemistry, it becomes chemistry.
Yes.
So
Having no impact on our environment, or minimizing our impact.
so that's the structure. I mean, like HRG, and obviously I'll be asking Fred to be involved in this as well as we do our capital plan. That is the whole goal of this 17,400, is to evaluate all the means for the next 5 years, and even look out 10 years out as well, to make sure that we're covering that future.
Is West Conshohocken in scope?
That is in the scope as well.
Okay.
Yes, as we discussed over the last 3 or 4 months. Yes.
So the document's not so much like fair pay for our ratepayers, but it's like, how do we actually fund our
It's
vision?
strategic, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Ed put together something, I think it was in December, that was like an education piece to tell the public, like, this is what we're doing and this is why there's going to be a change of rates? Maybe it was only for stormwater.
We only did stormwater, but we will present now, moving forward, the sewer end as well.
Because I think that it's a good news story, that if we're being proactive in protecting the environment, that's a good thing, and people would support that.
Not picking up, and trying to avoid picking up debt where we can. I
Right.
think some people
Right.
appreciate that as well.
Just help them equate it with what they do, right? Like you have a nest egg so that you're prepared.
Yeah, how much can Fred be involved in this? I mean, if we're, in the sense, I mean, are we trying to keep you not involved so that we didn't
No, he's
hire
gonna be
this
all-
guy?
I think the analysis is done by them, but I have more of the local knowledge on
Right.
it. So I think and I also view this as like a comprehensive plan for you. It's your look ahead of where we're going, and it helps you establish the policy and the rates because you understand it, and you can say, hey, I want to be a little bit more aggressive because I'm afraid of the unknown and I don't want rate shock. So I want to go 4% instead of 3%, or you can say, right now, I'm comfortable with where it is. I don't think that's coming down the road. We're going to reduce our rate increase. So I think it's an educational thing for you, and I think it establishes that long-term plan of where you're headed as an authority, and that you can look back. To me, it's as important to look at the rate studies that were done 5 and 10 years ago as they are the next couple, because I can see, we did that and it set us up for success. Or we weren't aggressive enough and we were in a hole and we had to do a 20%er. So I view it as a look back and a look forward.
And that's when, going back, I could talk about when I was interviewed, when I looked at your budget, it was not sustainable. And I'm not taking, it was not sustainable in regards to when I looked at the budget, like there was no maintenance.
There wasn't.
Zero. There was zero maintenance done at the plant. And when we worked with Howard Brown.
Yeah, we did an HRG, a Howard Brown, and an HRJ.
Yeah.
There's been 3 of them since I've been your engineer.
We developed that, I don't know how many years I've been here, 4 or 5 years, I don't know, whatever I've been here. The goal was even starting back then that we had to start slowly increasing to sustain our budget, because the budget there was nothing there. There was no capital plan, no maintenance at all in that budget before. And I'm not blaming them, and we just want to educate the board. That's the whole part of this whole process. And if you see, the stormwater, we started talking about last June, July, and we did 6 months of evaluation, and we'll do the same process here.
Yep, that sounds good. I mean, we have an old infrastructure. Conshohocken is an old infrastructure, and we've got to be able to maintain or get ahead of it. And that's why strategic planning is so important. So I appreciate the thoughtfulness to get us to where we need to be able to sustain this. All right, so what do you need from us on HRG? Is this just information?
I like that approved, right, correct?
Yeah, if you're looking for approval to start moving forward, yep.
Proceed with that rate
Okay.
analysis.
All right, so I'm looking for a motion of approval to move forward with HRG to start the process for rate analysis.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anyone opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Brent? this
That
evening?
would conclude my report, and then if we could have a brief executive session for personnel as we discussed last month.
Okay, so I am looking for a motion to accept the executive director's report into public record.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. That will conclude our business meeting this evening. We will
Make a motion to conclude. Is that it?
have a motion to approve concluding our meeting and then follow up with an executive session for personnel matters.
I'll make the motion, I think.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Meeting concluded.